Howdy, y'all. Welcome again to RockinatPops, where we try to give you community survivor stories, artists, people that, have touched our hearts, and we feel that you either need to hear their story or hear what they got to say. And we got a very special guest today, one of our favorite people from the big city of Woodbury, Tennessee. It is Woodbury's own Delyn Christian, and it looks like he's walking up the sidewalk right now as I speak. Let's see. Come on in, tell Pops about it.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
You know.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
How's everything?
Everything's going good, man. We've been wanting to get Delyn out here for a long time, but can't keep you off the road these days.
Yeah, I'm trying to come off the road, but the phone keeps ringing, so
Yeah.
I keep going, I guess.
Well, as long as the phone's ringing, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, keep them bills paid.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're from Woodbury, but you come from somewhere else.
Columbus, Ohio, but it'll be 12 years ago, in just a couple months, really.
Yeah.
So I played music all my life. Started playing in '74. Started playing guitar when I was 8. Started playing in bars in '74, and we moved down here to try to slow down a little bit and relax. And
Yeah.
still going out on the road from time to time and working on. Just finished up a new record that should be out very soon. We just got to do artwork and all the recordings done, so that's good. And
did you go up there to record it?
I would say everybody always, from different states, wherever they live, they come down to Nashville and, get a session together and cut a record, and then they're Nashville recording artists. And I always say I live, outside of Nashville, and I'm a Columbus, Ohio recording artist. So my band is, my guitar player and I have been playing together for almost 50 years.
Yeah.
And so I do all my records with him.
So what band was that?
It's called the Fret Shop Band.
Nice.
I had it listed as, the Delyn Christian Band for a while, and people were expecting Christian music.
Yeah.
Which they were getting, but it wasn't the kind of Christian music they wanted.
Right.
So we had to change it.
Well, it was Christian music,
was.
but it wasn't the Hallelujah. It might have been
was not the Hallelujah.
Chicken and waffles and one of those songs, maybe.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff.
So it's been a avenue of love and frustration. I always say, musicians, it's either a gift or it's a curse, and it depends on how you kind of work it, depending on where your head's at and what you're trying to accomplish. But
right. Yeah, that's awesome. We met you out close to Woodbury several years ago when Hot Springs opened. They started this jam session where people could just come and play, and we didn't even know about it. And me and Dad just drove out there one day, and they were like, yeah, come back tomorrow, there's a big jam. So we went back the next day, and we met all y'all, and then we started going there every Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you the funny thing about that is I was, when I got turned on to that place, I was, first year I was here, I was, searching for gigs wherever I could find them. And it wasn't easy to find work and make any kind of money. And I was playing out at a place in Franklin, Cool Springs Brewery. And, it's your typical, it's more of a restaurant than a bar,
right? But
it's a typical kind of thing. Lots of TVs and lots of chatter. And I mentioned the fact that I was from Woodbury, and I think his name's Mark Jones. That was one of the people that started out Hot Springs, and we were talking on the break. And said, "You're from Woodbury?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Man," he goes, "I'm looking at some property out there, and I want to do this, beer garden." Brewery and all that. And I'm like, well, here's my contact. He goes, he took my card. He goes, I don't want any of that promo stuff. I'm just thinking about it. It's not even, I
Yeah.
don't even have a place, you know.
Yeah.
And so 5 years, I think, went by.
Yeah.
And I get a call from this guy. He goes, hey, I talked to you 5 years ago in Franklin.
Wow.
And he goes, we come play our soft opening. And I did. I've been playing there. I think I was the first act they hired.
Oh, wow.
And then that original, the Americana Jam, which I really enjoyed that because they would do strictly a blues jam.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, they had the Americana Jam, which was one microphone in the middle of the stage and bluegrass pickers.
Yes.
And it was so cool. You would lean in to take, just like the old days.
Yeah.
Sammy Baker.
Oh, man.
And
Sam Rorick.
And who will help me out here?
Oh, my goodness. I need my phone, but it's recording right now.
There was two doctors or professors.
Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. They've actually, one of them's actually been out here for one of the shows we had to, you know, when we started meeting people at Hot Springs, we were doing shows here before, you know, the great COVID.
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
And I got to meet more
local artists.
One gentleman that I play with to this day at the jam, Mike Van Hootie.
Yes.
And he does percussion with me on a lot of gigs, and we have become soulmates.
Yeah. Mike's a great guy. Mike from State Farm.
Yeah. What's in your wallet? That's a different company.
Yeah, that's
anyhow. But Mike and we kind of.
He's a great guy. Him and his wife.
And he goes, yes. He
They're
goes,
great
I want to play with you, and that's like the first person that had shown any interest in making music with me, and we've been kind of joined at the hip ever since. And he does percussion with Mickey Gannon on drums, which is just a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Mike's a great guy. He was one of the first ones when we went there. When he found out that Cordell played drums, he was like, "Oh, we got to get him up on stage." And so, like one night or one Sunday, we loaded. The first Sunday we took Cordell, we loaded up his drums, and we thought we had to bring all this stuff. Mike's like, "No, got mine up there already. We're good." And man,
he brought the house down.
Mike took Cordell under his wing. You and Mike, Sam, Lisa Law, Joey Fletcher, Stuart Montez, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stuart was just out not too long ago. And it's moments like that, because Cordell's in college now, but then he was
15 years old.
15 years old.
Yeah.
And we had
maybe 14 the first time.
I think he was 14.
Yeah.
We had a kid in last week at the Hot Springs Jam.
Yeah.
Guitar player, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And slaying it. I mean, it's kind of
like amazing.
And there's no kid gloves, you know. It's not like here's a 12-year-old kid. We got to be gentle with him. It's like you know, if you're going to get up on stage,
you better be able to jam.
We're going to put you in the stew.
Well, remember the kid that grew up with Cordell at Jonathan Fletcher Music Shop learning how to play music was a kid named Blake. I can't remember his last name. I'd mispronounce it if I said it. But remember that kid could play the shit out of the guitar. And him and Cordell were buddies and played. Scott Wilson and you and Mike Van Hootie have called Cordell up on stage the most.
Yeah.
Scott Wilson had him in the bars at 7 years old.
Well, you have to encourage that at a young age. If a young person is interested in learning music and wants to play music, the best thing they can do is play with other musicians. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that's great about the jam that we do on Sundays out at Hot Springs. It's like we encourage you to sign up and play if you're good, if you're bad, if you're mediocre, if you're just beginning, or whatever you can do. Yeah. Because if you're an experienced player and you play with somebody that's inexperienced, they learn from you. Right. And if you play with people that are better than you, which we all hope to, you learn from them, and everybody learns from each other. Yeah. So it's a great thing. It was cool for me and my dad because we loved Hot Springs just because y'all were so welcoming to him. Yeah. Like all those names that I mentioned, Lisa Law, I love her and her husband. She's royalty. In my world.
They're some of my favorite people. I talk to them regularly.
Yeah, me too.
And, you know, I don't get to see them as much as I want to these days, but man, I love all those people we met up at Hot Springs. They were good people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get to get up there because we're with our nieces a lot on the weekends now, and Cordell works.
Right.
So, you know, man, I miss the good old days at Hot Springs.
We went up and saw Lisa at the Cannon County Arts Center, and they were doing the Jig-Leg Stompers,
yes.
you know, which is a history lesson of music. And it's, if you ever get a chance to check that out, and it takes you back to the blues of, you know, Bessie Smith and Big Mama Thornton and the real deal of where music came from.
When people ask me, I used to describe Lisa Law's shows as like, let's just throw in a little Aretha Franklin. I mean, she can just sing.
Yeah.
And I would love when she would come up at the jams, and you know, you never knew who was going to be there back then. One person would host it. You know, now it's pretty much a set thing. But like one person would host it this week, and then one person would host it this week, and people would just show up and support them. And man, she would come up there and drop that a cappella.
Oh, yeah.
She would take it to church.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what those songs are, but like they come up in my memories on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because she'd be like, y'all go to church today? You know, everybody's sitting there on their, you know, fifth beer because it's already 2:00. And she's like, for those of y'all that didn't go to church today, let's take you there. She's like, hit it, boys.
She's traditional. I mean,
yes.
It's like, it is. I mean, it's.
Yes, if you ever get a chance, another place you play on the square, Woodbury, what's that called?
Sophia's off the square. Yeah.
And she plays there too, and Sam Rorix and all them. And I know you play there quite a bit.
Yeah.
What a great place. Like,
it is.
Like, look at that place in Woodbury and go there. And
they're supporting live music, local music.
Yeah.
Great food.
Yes.
Full bar.
And we can't mention them without mentioning Hanks.
Hanks is awesome.
Yeah.
Hanks, Ken out at Hanks and Gina have been so good to me. My, when he was building that place, he wanted, you know, he told me he wanted to put a bar together like is in Lower Broadway, but not be that expensive and not be smoky.
Yes.
And just be have a place to park, which they have done. And when he was putting that place together, before he was even open, my mother, who's 86, was getting her hair done at Great Clips.
Yeah.
And she walked in as he was putting up the ceiling fans. She said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, we're building a honky tonk.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some lights." She goes, "Well, you need to hire my son.
Way to go, Mom.
He's a honky tonk singer."
Yeah.
And she talked to him for, I don't know,
probably
10 or 15 minutes. And she went home and she called me and said, "You know, I talked to this guy about hiring you." And I'm like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
Yeah. So mom at 86 still going out and
So I got in the car, went up and met Ken, and I walked in the door and I said, "Hey, I'm Delyn Christian. Here's my promo pack." And he's on a ladder putting up a ceiling fan. He goes, "I think I just met your mother." Yeah, he did.
Shout out to Mom.
I said, "Here's my stuff." He goes, "No." He goes, "I'm just gonna hire you."
Yeah.
Because your mom said to. And that's been 3 years now, or 4 years maybe.
So when can our viewers catch you at Hank's Honky Tonk?
I'm at Hank's Honky Tonk the first Friday and fourth Tuesday of every month. We just booked that for next year.
2024.
Yeah.
So first Friday?
Yep.
And
the first Friday and the fourth Tuesday of every month.
There you go, 2024. Go to Hank's.
Yeah.
Their burgers are great. Their drinks are great. Staff is great.
Yep.
I love that little place.
My dad loves the catfish sandwich.
Yeah. I'm a Hank's Honky Tonk burger.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, myself.
Yeah, me too.
Well, my dad got a grilled chicken salad there the other day that was pretty good.
Yeah. I got a full menu. It's great.
Yeah, shout out to Hank's in Murfreesboro, across the street from SportsCom.
Thanks for the work.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I believe they have music 7 nights a week.
They do. They're really supporting local music. You know, if you're a local band looking for place to play. Good luck, because I think,
Yeah.
you know, when he started out, he was talking to me about, I think I was the first one he hired, about finding entertainment. And I told him, I said, dude, wait 2 months.
Yeah.
Your phone will be ringing off the hook, and then you can pick and choose who you want.
Right.
But he's got some great artists that are there on a regular basis,
Yes.
and then he rotates the weekends.
My dad goes up there for you
Yeah.
and was it Dad Jack Finley Band?
Jack's
Yeah.
a good band.
Yeah. Dad loves them.
They're great.
Yeah.
I would say we are all friends. Definitely. I don't see them as much as I used to. But
Right. I've never seen them. I need to
they're good.
I gotta go check them out because usually they
It's
play
also-
the 9 o'clock show.
Yeah.
That's past my bedtime.
Well,
I'm
he
getting
asked
old,
me when
man.
he's hiring me on the Friday nights. He goes, you know, we do, because they do music 5:30 to 8:30 and then 9 to midnight. He goes, you want the early or late shift? I said, give me the early shift.
Well, even Zach Bryant, he made a tweet this week that said something like, "Let's start shows at 6 p.m."
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
You're home by 10.
That's what's great.
You've had a damn good time.
Yeah.
Uber isn't $50 at 10 o'clock.
That's what's great about the Sunday jam thing. It's 2:30 to 5:30,
Oh,
and that's perfect. I mean,
and when it's not daylight savings time, you
Mhm.
you get out of there before dark.
when I go on the road and it's, you know, you go back to that, you know, 10 to 2 or whatever it is. It's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, early is better. I think it's better for, you know, my crowd,
Right.
the age demographics that come out to see me.
Yeah.
I think, and that's, you know, that's good. Earlier better for me.
Yeah. I got a buddy that's my age, and when we first met you, and I told him that Cordell was playing with you, he was like, "Man, I've played with him before. I love that guy."
Mhm.
His name's Mitch Cox, and he used to live in Murfreesboro. He actually moved out to West Tennessee. He's a firefighter now. He's got a new album coming out soon, so
good.
we're looking forward to that. He's played a few times here, but you know, speaking of playing, would you like to play a tune for our friends
Sure.
here?
We can.
All right. Do you want to sit down or stand up? I can get you a bar stool.
Oh, I'm good. I think we can make this work. I did a taping last week for public television. Had to sit down. It's the first time I sat down since 1973 at a gig. So
Yeah.
I guess I could get used to
Yeah.
it.
Well, however you want to do it, man. I'm gonna walk down here and check on Grandma, and then maybe check the mail and take it into them. And
Right.
you just play the folks a song. When you get done, we'll talk a little bit more.
All
How
right.
about that?
Oh, we can do that.
All right, folks. Without further ado, this is my good friend Delyn Christian. I call him my brother.
Yeah.
He's a great friend to Cordell, and man, there's people around here that have wrapped their arms around my son.
Yeah.
And music helped him at a time that he really needed it, and learning to play the drums. And
He's a good drummer.
here you go. He likes to stay in the pocket. You know, he don't want to
He
overtake.
does.
He don't want to overtake the players. But folks, here's Delyn Christian. Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Hope I can get through them all. Who knows? This song I wrote for my lovely wife when we first started dating, and we had been at her place, had a cabin in December in Ohio. And I had been coming out of a bad relationship, or an ending relationship, I guess, and we had hooked up, and I wasn't quite the host I should be, I guess. I was in depression or whatever. She kind of walked off, and it snowed, and there was no prints except for her prints into the woods, and I thought I should probably try to follow her. So there's about 6 inches of snow, and I had cowboy boots, so I looked cool, but I was freezing. I found her, tracked her down. 20 years later, here we still are, so I hope I remember this one. It's called Would Be True. And I call it Would Be True because I spell it W-O-O-D, and if you were walking to the woods in the middle of December in, you know, Ohio, Hocking Hills, Ohio, to find a true love, and that would be true. So. see me walking down the street some afternoon. Yes, I might be talking to myself. I have felt the loneliness of an empty room. Feels like you're dust on the shelf. But you make me smile every time I see you. And I would walk for miles, find you in the forest so you know it would be true. I love you. You may see me driving down that great big Ford. We'll try that again. You may see me driving down that great big 4-lane road. Yes, I might be driving too slow. I totally messed that up, so we'll start this again. You may see me walking down the road some afternoon. Yes, I might be talking to myself. I have felt the loneliness of an empty room. Feels like I'm dust on the shelf. 'Cause you make me smile every time I see you. And I would walk for miles, find you in the forest so you know it would be true that I love you. You may see me driving down that great big 4-lane road. Yes, I've got the radio too loud. I can feel your fire when the mountain's frozen cold. I can always find your face in the crowd. 'Cause you make me smile every time I see you. And I would walk for miles, find you in the forest so you know it would be true that I love you. You may see me watching an old western on the couch. Yes, I've had a bourbon, maybe two. Life is just a question that we try to figure out. Mine turned out fine when I found you. 'Cause you make me smile every time I see you. And I would walk for miles, find you in the forest so you know it would be true that I love you. Close.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When did you write that one?
Well, I wrote that a few years back since we've been here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man.
I love good stories, and you know, the fact that you find your person and you know you make a life with them.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Hard to find sometimes.
It is hard to find, and some people don't find it the first time.
No, we definitely did not. Well, we did. I mean, we had a good run with other partners.
Yeah.
But sometimes that runs its course.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we found each other.
Yeah.
And that's knock on wood.
Yeah. And there's nothing like the I tell you what, hearing you sing that song about your wife, it made me think about mine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just someone that came out of the blue and just made everything okay, you know, made the house a home.
Well, I would say that, you know, the best and worst thing for a songwriter is finding happiness and love, because everybody wants to hear about your pain.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where some strong songs come from, is pain and heartache, and that's okay, but it's nice to be able to write the opposite end of that.
Absolutely. We love storytelling.
Yeah.
And what I love about storytelling is, like, when me and my dad, like, I grew up going to Opryland.
Oh yeah.
So during the summer,
I remember Opryland.
we would see, you know, Alabama 20 times.
Sure.
We seen Tanya Tucker, and we seen Faith Hill when nobody knew who she was, and she came out on stage in a t-shirt and holes in her jeans.
My son's 34, and he spent every summer at Opryland.
Oh, season pass is the way to go.
That.
What was it, $49.99, and you could go every day?
Every day.
I used to go with my dad, man, and we would be the first ones in line when they opened the gate, and we would run straight back to the Wabash Cannonball.
Oh yes.
Because they would let us ride it until a line formed.
Right.
One day, me and Pops rode that thing 14 times without stopping.
That.
And I'm telling you, Pops will tell you, we could feel that in our head all day because it was the shortest ride they had.
Right.
But when you rode it 14 times in a row, man, you felt it was the fastest at the time, and that was before they got the hangman.
My mother would pack her purse full of, you know, peanut butter and jelly and bologna sandwiches and
wallets and sandwich bags, and you know, you would get the old rub right here if you wore jeans, and you know, you'd have to go out to the car and change clothes.
Great entertainment. I mean, it's amazing to think how many local musicians, famous or not famous, had jobs there playing music or being part of the shows.
Yeah, the hospitality. One of our favorite people, Erin Enderlin, she used to volunteer at the Grand Ole Opry, and now she's playing it regularly.
Oh, that's great.
So all the people that have known her from her younger days when she was at MTSU, now get to see her play. And, you know, there's just something about this town. There's something about the Bluebird Cafe. I know you're familiar with that place.
I get about 6 shows there a year now, so.
What a blessing.
Yeah, 2020 I was part of the Middle Tennessee Songwriting Contest and came in second, I guess, is what you would call it. But as I was walking out after not feeling defeated, but, you know, going back home, the Bluebird people tapped me on the shoulder and said, you know, we loved your stuff. Would you ever like to come play the Bluebird? So I'm back there in, I think it's June.
Yeah.
And that'll be my 7th time playing the Bluebird. That's a great room.
I tell you what, I've cried in that room several times just because the songwriter rounds, and if you don't get a lot of out of town people in there, it's a straight listening room.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes
I'll tell you, man, even the out of town people, which most of the shows I've done, it has been filled with out of town, which is, we love that.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
we love it when,
I'm not hating on tourism.
Yeah, but you know, and the thing that's great about that room is they come to hear music. There's no TVs, there's no bar noise. There's usually really good writers.
Yeah.
Not always, but you know, 90% of the time you're going to hear really, really good writers, and it's a blessing to be in a room where you can play your own original music. Nashville, of course, is songwriting capital of the world, music capital of the world, but you got to play cover tunes. Yeah. Everybody go.
What is the most requested song you've ever had, not counting Freebird?
Oh man, you know, it's, you know, you get the typical rolling on the rivers, or just people that, you know, just Freebird is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
One, do you say Rocky Top.
Do you say $100 and I'll play it?
I do.
Yeah, that's a lot of my friends.
It's more now. I mean,
yeah, inflation. So it's probably at least $150 for Freebird right now.
But you know, when I do that, I hit them with a. If I leave you tomorrow, would you still remember me? And then I want to hear that.
they want that 8-minute guitar
like,
solo.
Yeah, it's like Mustang Sally, you know. It's like
Oh,
people want to hear Mustang Sally,
song.
and I tell them, you know, I will play Mustang Sally for you, but you got to name 3 other Wilson Pickett tunes, and they don't know who Wilson Pickett is. So if you don't know who Wilson Pickett is, that's who wrote Mustang Sally. So
there you go. Who's your favorite artist of all time?
I'd have to say John Prine.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's what I kind of cut my teeth on. The Allman Brothers, and I was compared one time to John Prine meets the Allman Brothers, so I took that as a big compliment.
Absolutely.
But, you know, Guy Clark, the Beatles, of course. Elvis changed my world in '68 with the comeback thing. That's when I knew I really wanted to, you know, kind of be in a band. But even, you know, in high school and stuff, I was drawn towards the acoustic end of music. You know, and we were doing Rolling Stones and Skinner, all the rock and roll stuff that you want to do. But I was always Seals and Crofts and Gordon Lightfoot and John Prine, James Taylor. And,
what's your favorite John Prine album?
They're all great. I'd say it's between, you know, Bruised Orange, which is his second record, and Tree of Forgiveness. I think it was 2 years ago. My wife was on the internet, and there's a park up in Muhlenberg County that they had renamed the John Prine Park, and it was right at the Rochester Dam. I mean, you can see the dam. And there was maybe 100 people there for this opening, and they had a bunch of people playing, you know, local musicians or whatever, playing John Prine tunes. And, you know, I do a John Prine tribute show. And
what's crazy is there was only 100 people there.
Yeah. And at the end, they said it was put on for some charity, you know, environmental group.
Right.
Which John and his wife were all about. And they said, as people were walking out, look under your chairs, and if there's a green dot, they had these trees, and I forget which kind of tree it is. They call it the Tree of Forgiveness. So it's the name of the record. And so we did not have a green dot, but the people in front of us did, and they left. Wow. So we grabbed their green dot. We have a Tree of Forgiveness on Fret Knot Farm now. What is
the deal with the fret knot? Do you want a fret knot, or?
Well, when we moved, I told my wife, when we were in Ohio, I was working 80 hours a week, 3 jobs, playing 6 or 7 nights a week, had a regular day job, worked in radio, and I said I want to live in a postcard. So the place we found in Woodbury is that, and we have a big gravel driveway that goes up to the house. And what I say is, you know, you have to leave all your frets at the bottom of the driveway unless they're on a guitar. So
I like that.
Yeah.
What I love is your favorite posts of mine are when you're spinning vinyl.
Oh,
and you do these blind picks of people that obviously I've never heard of, and everybody's like, man, I remember that one record, and y'all just sit there and y'all go back and forth about whatever artist it is. That's one of my favorite things about your social media.
I love vinyl. I mean, I've been in radio since about 1980, and that was the last quarter of everything was on vinyl. You know, 45s and albums, and I think I have 4,000 albums in my office. You know. And
I've been in there. It's quite a few.
It's a small.
Are they in alphabetical order?
They are.
How long did that take?
You'd have to ask my wife on that one. When we moved in, I had them, you know, on like shelves you'd have out here in the garage, those gorilla shelves, you know, by Walmart. And they were in kind of alphabetical order. All the A's were togethers. All the B's were togethers. And when I would go on the road, pre-COVID, I would be on the road at least once a month for a week or two. And my wife would do projects around the house. And one of those projects once was building those shelves that are in my office. And so she took all the albums down in alphabetical order, and then it was like down to the wire. When she put them back up, she just kind of threw them back up. So they were kind of a mess for a while, and then It was like that. So that's when all the blind pulls came in because I
Yeah.
never knew what I could find.
Right.
And then I went on the road again, and she took 2 or 3 days and put them in very, very alphabetical order. You know.
Do you always put them back where they belong?
I do. She does not.
Oh, she spent all those days doing it. And
so that's my job is to refile.
Okay, there you go. So, does she post pictures of what she spends?
She does, yeah.
Good, so that way you know where to look. And
we have great moments, like even after gigs, when I come home at 10 o'clock or whatever, we'll sit in the office till 2 o'clock in the morning listening to records. And my thing is, when I pull a record, I like to listen cover to cover.
Yeah.
Start on side one, play all the way through, because that's, artists, when they put records together, they put them in a order for a reason,
Absolutely.
And she's a picker, so she'll want to hear certain cuts, or she'll get halfway through a record like, it's not working for me.
Yeah.
And pull something else, which I'm good with, anymore. But
yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
And there's lots.
Happy wife.
Happy life.
Everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm learning that slowly but surely.
Yeah. That's true.
The quicker you learn it, the better.
That's true. Hear that, Cordell?
Yeah. Cordell, you better listen. 20 years from now, when you get married, happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
Well, we was gonna fix you some dinner today. You want to play them one more before we get out of here and go get us something?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
All right. Well, one more time, we're gonna give you our good friend and brother, Mr. Delyn Christian. He's gonna play you. You gonna do a cover, or you gonna do an original tune?
I can do either one.
You can do whatever you want to do. I never like to tell an artist what to play.
Well, this is
that'd be like me telling my mechanic how to fix my car.
Yeah. This is one I wrote when I was working my day job in Ohio, a couple of day jobs, but I would have to be at work at 7 o'clock every morning. And I woke up one morning about 5:30, 5:45. It was December, and it had snowed the night before. It had snowed like 7 inches, and when I looked outside, there was not a track anywhere.
Yeah.
Animal track, tire track. It was like a Christmas card. I thought, it's be a great day to stay home, but I'm gonna go to work. So I made a pot of coffee and kept looking out the window at that beautiful snow, and looked at my fireplace, and it had wood in it, and it was ready to go. All I needed was a match, and I thought, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna do the right thing. Drinking my coffee, I turned on the TV. We used to get this channel 19 out of Cleveland, Ohio, and they were doing a 24-hour Tom and Jerry marathon. And I thought, I'm staying home. So I called my boss at the time and explained the scenario of what I was dealing with. And I said, I'm not really calling in sick, but I am calling in Tom and Jerry because it was a 24-hour Tom and Jerry marathon on, and they were cool with it.
That's good. Well, it's great to work for a company that recognizes Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that was.
It got to keep you young.
Yeah.
All right, folks. One more time before we get out of here and go eat. I'm gonna head out. You can play your song and just shut the door. And
all right.
I would say turn off the light, but we got to keep the lights off today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just shut the door when you go out, and we'll fire you up a broad or two.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
So this is called Tom and Jerry Day. I always loved Tom and Jerry cartoons, and I always thought it was cool how Jerry, lived in the walls, and every now and then the camera angle, when they followed Jerry into the walls, he had it laid out. His apartment was there, and I was wondering what was going on behind the drywall, in our house. And one episode where he opens up the freezer and floods the kitchen and turns it into an ice rink. And I thought that was cool. So it was Tom and Jerry Day. Sitting in the kitchen of a rented house, watching the cat chase the mouse. They could build a fire and drift away. It's a Tom and Jerry day. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Well, let your troubles all drift away. Channel 19 is a cartoon dream. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Tom chases Jerry down the middle of the hall. Jerry disappears through a hole in the wall. He got it decked out like a Taj Mahal. That's where Jerry stays. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Well, let your troubles all drift away. Channel 19 is a cartoon dream. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Jerry made an asterisk of the kitchen floor. Tom made his ass when he walked through the door. Tom was living proof that cats can store on a Tom and Jerry day. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Well, let your troubles all drift away. Channel 19 is a cartoon dream. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with old Scooby-Doo. Scooby's been hanging out for years. But when I'm down and I'm feeling the blues, that cat and mouse bring me to cheer. I think I've disappeared from the human race. Get some Chinese food and feed my face. When you call a walk number, you got the right place on a Tom and Jerry day. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Well, let your troubles all drift away. Channel 19 is a cartoon dream. It's a Tom and Jerry day. It's a Tom and Jerry day. Well, let your troubles all drift away. Channel 19 is a cartoon dream. It's a Tom and Jerry day. But that's all, folks. Thanks. Appreciate it. See y'all at the Jan. See you at Hank's. See you at Sophia's. See you when I see you. Buford, bring the truck around.